Hello, I would like to inform you that what you're about to listen to are our views and comments from the hosts and guests that only reflect their own view and not the community's as a whole. You're also committing to hire us at some point in the future, whether or not you want to or you like our work. I hope you enjoy the podcast. And Eddie, play the banter section.
When I came back from Hong Kong, I bought a load of SD cards so that I'm well prepared for the apocalypse, which is known as MCM London. So I'm ready to go. Sorry, it sounds like I buy SD cards, use it once, and then throw it in the bin. That's not what I do. Know I can format them. Don't talk to me like I'm an idiot.
I mean, I think that every single photographer bag is exactly the same. I think I've got about 5 different SD cards in my bag at any one point. Like, I have genuinely been to a con where a photographer forgot their SD card, and I was like, there you go, have that one. And they were like, oh, do you not want it back or anything like that? And I was like, oh, it's like 60 gig or something like that. I use bigger ones now, you can just have it. And he was like, how often do you buy them? I was like, I never really filled them. I just kind of amount of times.
Are you shooting in JPEG or something?
No, full.
I'd check your settings if I was you. That's all I'm saying. Don't want to call you out.
No. I'm shooting in full RAW. It's crop sensor, so it's not.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I generally thought you were going to say full JPEG.
Yeah, full JPEG. Yeah.
Hello everybody, this is the Ed Talks About podcast, a podcast series talking about cosplay, Comic-Con, and everything else. I'm your host Eddie. This week we are talking about why I don't charge at a Comic-Con. Well, although I wrote... So the studio that I'm using, I had to put a name for it, and I've put the word why I don't charging at Grammar is not my thing clearly at the moment. Anyway, enough about that. Joining us on the podcast is Gaz of Bigfoot Cos Photography. Now, you might know him, but he's rebranded the little shit. So yeah, so he's no longer
new year, new me.
Well, yeah, you're no longer Bigfoot 1912 or something like that. What was it before?
Bigfoot Photos 1912, but I've kind of like expanded into different types of photography. So I was trying to separate everything out into its own little bit, try and be vaguely organised. If my life isn't organised, at least my Instagrams are.
And how is that going?
It's yeah. Well, no. I was gonna get into obviously, you always do. How was the last 7 days for you? But for those that are following me on the social medias, know that 2 weeks ago I moved house. So obviously, the week or two before that, I was packing everything, and then the last 2 weeks I have been spent unpacking. So I'm hoping. So I kind of rebranded and then immediately decided to move. So I've been busy doing that. So I'll let you know how the rebranding is going once I can actually have spare time. Like today was the first day I have edited in about a month.
To be fair, I've done something similar as well. I feel like I haven't edited photos for about 2-3 weeks, and I looked at the photos I was editing and went, oh, okay, then it's April. What am I editing? Oh, this is MegaCon London photos. Oh dear. Oh God! I better really speed that up a little bit. But I've actually think I finished them all today. I just need to package them up, send them to people, that whatnot. So yeah.
Oh, you're further ahead than me. Don't worry.
I'm always further ahead than you. Just always know this. Always know this about yourself. You know, not about yourself. About me. Anyway. I've had.
Eddie.
Words. I've had a really busy 7 days.
Well, how's your 7 days been, Eddie?
Well, what day is it? When did I last do a podcast?
It's Monday today.
I know it's Monday today. I feel like it was probably more or less this time last week. Yeah, last 7 days. I just feel like I haven't had a chance to sit down and do nothing, or just sit down and edit. I was saying to someone, the month of April, I either had something going on at the weekend, so didn't have weekend to myself, or I was I've never had like a full week at work, so I've just spent 4 days at work. So I'm a bit of a part timer apparently. So yeah, I'm just feeling a bit a bit
overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, yes. I've sorted out myself now for MCM. A bit of a not debacle, just
reimagining
how I'm getting myself there, finances and all that, and also finding out that I'm doing a panel there as well. So,
I saw. Congratulations!
Thank you very much. I'm not looking. I'm both looking forward to it and not looking forward to it at the same time. So it's basically like this format, but just talking about like getting the most out of a Comic-Con weekend or what you should do at a Comic-Con weekend. That type of thing.
Charge for pictures.
Yeah, charge for pictures. Oh,
yeah. There's the segue.
Do I really want that to be the segue? Oh no, no. I will keep talking. Though I got Chirac Cosplay. I think they go by name B. They'll be joining us joining me on the stage, and I think they'll be talking it from a cosplayer point of view, and I'll be talking from a photographer's point of view. And I'm hoping actually to have the audience join in with some Q&A session. I was hoping to record it, but it turned out there's no recording devices over there, so I'm like going, okay, so no then. I would like, I don't know if I want it to be recorded maybe, and then I could strip the audio of that, but then what the audio is like, it's just all echoey and all that. So I don't know, I actually may. Do you think I'm allowed to Instagram live it?
I would have thought you'd be able to Instagram live it. I mean, if only you knew someone who had a degree in music technology.
Okay, do you know anyone?
Yeah. It's doing very nice dangling on my wall. It's not doing anything else, but it looked pretty on my wall.
Why did you steal up someone? I just don't understand. Why did you steal someone's diploma?
I know, yeah, well, I felt like I should try and look educational, and I can't do it myself, so I thought I'd steal someone else's.
Do you mean
degree.
Educated?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, surely they could just do an audio out from the desk.
I asked, and they kind of went, no. I went, oh, okay then. I'll see you on the day.
That's we can, but we can't be bothered.
No, it's more, I can't be bothered, we won't check. But hopefully MCM not listen to this or repop. So, hello, MCM, I love you long time. Probably shouldn't say it in that way, but I'm going to keep that in. Oh dear. Yes, what we're talking about. I don't know how to start. I do know how to start this, but I don't know if I'm going to be pissing people off. But it's always been apparently a bit in my remit to piss people off. So once again, I'm back at this hill, on this top of the hill, talking about this subject. So I have done this subject before many, many years ago, and I will die on this hill no matter what. But again, I don't know if the tides are turning, if things have changed, if attitudes have changed, or things like that, or people just need to be reminded. So there was an incident recently where a photographer openly admitted they were charging at the venue, and how it came about for me is that someone actually sent it to me, and I don't know why. Well, I think I know why they sent it to me, because they know the instant reaction, the instant rage that would be like boiling in my skin, in my body. So I think that's what they did. That, and I think the community's just got wind of it and things like that. Yeah, and I don't want to name names, so don't go asking me or look for this person. They've actually taken the post down, and it's questionable if they've learned anything or not. But there's a few things subsequent posts that I've gone, that's a really good point that they've made. I wonder if that still holds truth or not. So yeah, I just thought I'd ask some people to discuss about this. We were meant to have a cosplayer on this, so it wasn't quite one-sided. Unfortunately, that guest got ill at the last moment, and then I had to duck out. So unfortunately, just got 2 photographers here talking about it quite biasedly. So I can't. There's only so much we can do here.
Yeah, we'll try and split the
atom.
Bring the other side in. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, the other side. Yeah, the other side. Yeah. What is that plopping sound I can hear?
Oh, I'm not editing.
Oh,
so I need to stop.
That's fine. Now I know what that is.
It'll either be my mouse or it'll be my creaky chair, but I'm more than likely it's my mouse. I am also surrounded by, because obviously I said I was moving. I am surrounded by boxes.
No, that's
so
fine.
I have just moved some boxes in case.
I'm keeping this all in. I am not giving a shit about all of this. I am. Yeah.
I am paying 100% attention to both my edits and this podcast by doing both at the same time.
Yes, I'm sure you are. I'm really sure you are. Oh man, Why do I do this to myself? Why? God damn it. Anyway, where was I going to start? I'm going to start, well, as most people say, at the beginning. Now, you may ask, why is this important? Why is this? And for me, and quite simply, it is part of the rules. It is just part of the rules of the organizer. And I'm actually trying to look for the rules now. Oh, hello. What's that? Oh, keep that for later. There is an actual specific page that I definitely saw on the Birmingham side, but I'm assuming that transfer over to the what's it called? London side. Yep, here we go. Here it is. Oh, brilliantly, the page doesn't exist anymore. Oh, I think I see it now. No, in their URL, it's broken, so I'm going to fix it for them. See if it works out. There it is. There we go. So, right. So, one of the rules about photography at the venue goes as point number 5: sale of photography services. The sale of photography services is not permitted unless pre-arranged with the event organizers. If you plan to sell photograph service to attendees, this must be done as part of an exhibit stand declared and agreed upon in advance and strictly limited to your designated stand space. So the way I read that is that unless you got permission from the organizer, you stay in one spot, you don't go anywhere, and you have a stand. And I'm assuming what they mean by stand is the stand inside the venue, not a stand maybe like at the tree line area next to the grey walls or whatever. Then that, it is not allowed. That is how I've understood that. Now, Gaz, I want to ask you, when you started doing photography at Comic-Con, how early, how late were you aware of these type of rules existing by the organizer? Was it something that you sort out yourself? Did you go, I wonder if they allow us to sell photos? I'm going to go on their FAQs and see if they got anything about that. Or was it something that someone told you? I feel like I suspect where the answer's going to come from.
You don't actually.
Oh, so I was going to say from this podcast, but thank goodness. Okay.
Yeah. So, as I've said before this, I used to do, landscape, but I also did gig photography. And obviously venues can get very funny about you bringing in. So quite often it'd be organised by the band. So I'd go in with the band to do, and I'd get a backstage pass and this, that and the other. And that's how I'd do that. But occasionally they'd be like, we haven't actually managed to sort it out with the venue yet. So then I'd get in contact with the venue and be like, hi, I'm a photographer. One of the bands has asked me to take some pictures. I will be doing it from the audience. This is the gear I'm going to be turning up with. Is this okay? So obviously attending my first con, because I had been before as an attendee, I had never taken pictures and I hadn't really paid attention and seen other people taking pictures, because obviously pictures on the con hall are very few and far behind. So I last thing I wanted to do was turn up with a DSLR camera, get to the gate, and then go, "You're not allowed that in here." So I actually, before I attended it, I contacted the organisers and was like, "Hi, I'm a photographer. I normally do gig photography. I'm attending this convention. Just out of interest, am I allowed to bring this in?" And I got a very nice email back from them saying, "Yes, of course you can. Many people do. Here's a few extra rules." And in them rules were you cannot charge for shoots at cons. So it was actually from me contacting the organizer that I first found out. All right, okay. And then obviously after my first con, I discovered this podcast and I got hammered in how important it is not charging at cons. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a kind of, it's not one of them rules where the organizers tell you not to do it, but everyone does it anyway, so you'll be fine. It was a no, kind of like it's a community coming together and saying, no, we don't do this, and this is not what we do as a community. And it's like, all right, okay, it's a bit of fun. Crack on.
Yeah, no, interesting. I like that you discover it's not something that people do under the, most people don't do it under the table type of thing and things like that. At what gave you the impression it was the community that went, no, we do not accept this. We follow the rules. This is a system that we are following to the letter.
Well, it was kind of through this podcast, because obviously you have, like you said before, you've done this topic many times before, and there was one where you were talking about an American con, and you were like, oh yeah, it's actually in the T's and C's there that you cannot charge for a shoot. But in America, it's very well, yeah, everyone charges. And then kind of like talking to people, it seemed a lot more that it was kind of policed a lot more from the community rather than the actual organisers.
No, I just find it interesting when people go, oh, it's the community. I don't think it's something that I've had to learn. It's something that I had to be told. I can't remember why I got told. I just got told. So I was like, okay, cool. But I think it's one of the few. Our community is one of the few that really quite regulates this in the UK. If I ever speak to people outside of the UK, in Europe, like I said, in the States, they see it as a service of, I don't see why you can't charge, why you don't do this, and things like that. And don't get me wrong, and I have said this many a times. Should that rule not exist, I would charge. I would definitely charge at a Comic-Con. But I also see its pitfalls. I'll also see many things which I will go down the road about it. But what's your point of view? What's your stance on this subject?
Here we go. We're ready to get cancelled.
Oh no, I'm not getting cancelled. You're getting cancelled. I'm just facilitating a platform for you to get cancelled. I'm just here just to watch. You're doing the talking. I'm just
Yeah, so I've had many people ask me this, and I've kind of stayed quiet on the subject, but I sent you quite a lengthy, when you asked me to do this podcast, I sent you quite a lengthy kind of like talk about what my stance on it. So, yeah, my stance on it is, personally, I would never charge at a con. It's in the T's and C's. I would not charge. At a con, you're not going to get my best work. So even if there was no rule and I started and everyone was charging and I went, you know what, I'm going to charge, it would not be a full price. It would be a reduced price because you are not going to get the best shots from me at a con. I can't remember where I was going with that. Yeah, mine's gone completely blank.
Yeah, hang on. Let me jump in then. I like that you said it's not your best work. Why are you saying it's not going to be your best work? What makes you say that? What makes you?
Because so it's it's the situation, it's the surroundings, it's the equipment I can have and stuff like that. Like, obviously, at a con, you can't bring light stands. I know that that is a rule that is questionably followed, but I try my best to use natural light at a con and this, that, and the other. If we do an out of con shoot, like I done one a week ago, I think it was, we were outside and I had a light stand. I was using flash. And it meant that I could light it a lot better. We could pick a location which fitted the character a lot better. It was a lot freer. We were a lot more chilled. We could kind of like constantly go, right, we've got all day. This is the shot. This is what we want to do. I mean, we walked away with, I mean, at a con, I can walk away with 600 odd pictures in a 5 hour shoot, in 5 hours of shooting. I think we were shooting for like 2 hours and we walked away with about 50, 60 shots or something like that. A lot less shots, but it's because we spent a lot more time making sure that everything was perfect, like moving the light around and stuff like that. And with a con, like, especially fantasy, I love fantasy. When I was attending MCM back in October, I was talking to you and I said, oh, I've got someone who's cosplaying something from Rings of Power. Are there any kind of like grassy areas around? And you were like, there is one, but it's not, it's basically a bush. And then again, you go to any other con and you're like, I found a bush. That's as fantasy as you're going to get. That's not going to be the wilderness, as opposed to if I was doing a fantasy shoot, I'd be like, right, let's go out to a woodland or some hills or something like that, and let's get away from modern buildings and stuff like that. Or if you're doing a Batman, right, okay, let's do it at night or something like that. So you can, that's where you're getting the best work you're going to get. So that's the difference between, because you've obviously got out of con shoots, in con shoots, paid shoots, studio shoots, T for P, etc., etc. So an out of con shoot, you can get your best results from. I think any photographer will agree with me there. You will get your best results. We can do the best we can at a con, but you're not going to get our best work at a con.
No, I totally agree. I really, it is something I've always said. This is why I don't charge. I know I said I would charge, but now hearing you, I'm going, oh, maybe I should actually just not charge full stop. But anyway,
I mean, I think if it's one of them where if they completely got rid of the rules,
yeah.
Because one thing I said to you, well, going back to kind of like why I don't charge and stuff like that. So, yeah, you're not going to get my best work. It's not in the rules. So first and foremost, it should be down to the con organizer to stop that. It shouldn't be the community. So
Yes.
I know Secret Con are very good at that. If they find out you have charged, you're immediately blacklisted.
Okay.
Yeah, they're because again, that's organised by people who are very much within this community. So yeah, they say they have a photographer debrief and a cosplay debrief at the start, and in the photographer debrief, they say you do not charge for pictures if we find out you have charged for pictures. So it's not like because I offer a what's it called, a priority edit. So obviously if on a MCM we shoot on the Friday, I get home on the Sunday, and you're like, I have shot for the new Thunderbolts movie. I need these shots back as soon as possible because Thunderbolts is coming out in a couple of weeks. I'll be like, right, no worries. If you want that priority over everyone else, I'm going to charge you a little bit. And as well, that's for my time as well, because once you've said, I want them priority, I will get them back normally within a week. I've just sent some priority back. And I kind of said to him, I was like, I'm really sorry. You have asked me the week that I am moving house. It's not going to be a turnaround in a week. It will be it'll be the next edit I do, though, which they completely understood. But yeah, so I think as far as I'm aware, they're fine with that. But you can't turn around to someone and go, "Oh, I'll shoot you." Shoot them for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then go, "All right, if you want these pictures back, you've now got to pay me that." If they find out you've done that, then you get blacklisted straight away. So again, the first thing that should happen is it should be down to the organizer to stop. If someone is doing it and the organizers aren't stopping it, then personally, if someone else wants to do it, I don't have a problem with them doing it. This is where I get cancelled. I would not kind of like have a go. I'd say to them, "You're not meant to do that," and I will tell other people they're not meant to be doing that. But I'm not going to be like screaming about it online or anything like that, because it's one of them where it's like, as a community, we just need to band together and go. It's simple supply and demand. If they are supplying a service at a price, if everyone turns around and goes, "Well, you're not meant to be charging, I'm not using you," they're going to do it for one con, make absolutely no money, shoot with no one, and then they're not going to do it again. So that's kind of like my stance on it. It's a supply and demand thing, where if they come out of this con and they go, "Oh, I've just made £1,000, I've made my ticket and hotel room back," then that's going to encourage more people to do it. Do I agree that they're doing it? No. But it's a supply and demand, and I think that's the way it should go, is you make people aware. And again, I believe this person isn't doing it on con grounds, which is where MCM could be like, "Well, it's not our business because it's not on MCM land." It then becomes on XL land, and that gets so my God messy.
Which I still have issue with. But I'll explain that in a minute. So I was going to say something before you added more, but that's fine. I wanted you to talk a little bit. So the one thing I have a real big issue about charging at the venue is like, on this point that has several factors to it. Like, everyone's at the same venue. What are you going to get differently that you're going to get that someone else is not going to get? It's like, now that we're like penned in now in the MCM barriers, we're all going to get very, very similar shots now. And I just cannot imagine why anyone is going to get any different photos type of thing, unless they're willing to like break the rules, jump in the barriers, and get stopped by XL security and things like that. The other factors that's linked to is that the photographer or the cosplayer did not, in a sense, sort out the venue. They didn't go, "Oh, this would be a great place to do photographs. Do you know, I'll go out my way to like see if I have permission to use the venue, what the rules are, things like." No, they're using the back of someone else's hard work, in a sense, to like to hire the venue, board it all off, so on and so forth.
And then at the same point as well, has the photographer got insurance?
Yes, and that's my literal next. So if an incident happens inside the MCM barriers, at least MCM will, in a sense, pick up the bill. I'm not suggesting you should go just yeet yourself and get injured. I don't want you to do that. But more about, like, if you do something outside of the barriers, where does that liability fall upon? Because I went to the venue to experience an MCM Comic Con, but I didn't attend or use the venue at the time when I got injured. Is it the XL that's at fault because it's a health and safety issue? Or actually, no, it was probably something that I stupidly did or cosplayer did. So therefore, actually, liability doesn't stop at. But I bought a ticket for your venue. I wasn't going to come to this venue, but I bought a ticket. So why aren't you like helping me out, sort me out? That type of level of like, I can imagine someone's tried to like make it so that they weren't the problem, they weren't the fault, and I'm going, but you knew where it's very now clearly that this is the barriers of the MCM venue. You now know that beyond that, it's Excel who are doing that. They revoke at times now the what's it called, photography permit that Excel offer photographers and so on and so forth. I just think that's a really dangerous precedent if you allow people to like not turn up with insurance if they're going to shoot outside of, you know.
I mean, if you, in order to get a permit for XL land, you need to prove insurance.
Exactly, you've got to prove insurance, because I definitely try to look at it myself. But secondly, no, not secondly, but going beyond that, if you're not going to take photos at the venue, at MCM, or at the venue of the Excel, well, then you're taking them off land. You're taking them further away from the con. Well, hang on. I feel sorry for the cosplayer. They have spent what, £100 for tickets, and they're not spending any of that inside the venue, inside it. All right, they paid £100 maybe to get photos. That's you do what you do with your time and your money, up to you. But I find it really, I just think that's absolutely, I don't know what the word is, the correct word, but I find it distasteful. It's probably the wrong word, but I just find it wrong. That's it. Probably wrong is the easier word. To take someone beyond the venue where they paid hotel, travel, and tickets to get in, to not spend the time there. You know, it's not going to be a quick 10-minute shoot if you're going to take them off the premises. Because I think before it got what's the word? Banned? I don't know if banned was the right word, but St Dunstable, that used to be quite a hot spot for people to go and get photos. But that's not a quick, as I said, 10-minute down the road. You got to go on the public transport. You got to travel. You got to walk there, set up, take photos. Then you got to pack up, come back. Well, that's a good at least hour, at least. And again, going back to insurance, what happens if there's an incident? What happens? You know, you definitely can't blame it on XL and MCM for that. Things I just, yeah. So those are the things that like come quickly to my mind when anyone tries to defend anyone to, like, you know, defend photographers who charge. Now, I will say this. I was looking at this photographer's post, post. That's it. The incident after the, you know what I mean by post, but it's in post the incident post. It just sounded like I had a stutter. I was looking at it, and there were some photographers like defending this photographer. I'm going, how the fuck can you defend it? I think they said that they did have insurance with them, so that there was an incident outside of the barriers that they would be fine. If I know you're not a cosplayer, and it's a shame we don't have a cosplay for that, but if you had someone that said, I got insurance, so there was an incident outside of this venue, and they were charging, I take it that's okay in your books? See?
Yeah, because that's the thing, it's whether you'd want proof beforehand, because that's the thing. I can turn around and go, oh, I've got insurance, don't worry. You don't know if I've got insurance or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is so difficult to this is why I can imagine why MCM find it hard to police this. I can imagine why it's harder to police this in America, why it's harder in Europe as well, because it is a hard thing to do, and I feel so proud of our community that we so far to this day police it okay. I'm not saying it's brilliant. I'm not saying it's as bad as the others if we are self-policing this, but we do a good job of it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if what they're saying is true, that they do have insurance? So are we all okay with it now? Are we? I still lean back to my pillars of why I don't shoot. Why I don't charge at the venue, because I didn't sort out the venue. I didn't get the liability insurance. I didn't ask the cosplayers to come here per se. We're both mutually going to the same venue and having a good time. Things like that. I see it as a TFP. I see it as working with someone where I could potentially get work elsewhere. Like you said, doing location shoots and things like that. What did I write down? I knew it was... Oh, yeah. The other thing that... sorry. I'm jumping notes here. What I do worry about when people charge and I put asterisk people. I'll get back to that point later. So, Gaz, if I forget, you have to remind me.
I will do.
I'll put a little asterisk there. It's going to lead to a two-tier type of community. It's the has and haves not. But I know you said it's supply and demand. I totally get that. But if those who can pay will pay. All right, is that good? Like I say, supply and demand. But what happens if you see a cosplayer that you want to shoot with, but the first thing that pops into your mind is, well, I like to shoot with them, but I'll have to charge them. I'm not doing that for free.
Oh yeah, 100%. If photographers start charging, then 100% cosplayers are well within their right to start to turn around and go, well, okay, if you want to shoot with me, then I'm charging as well. I have actually had my first ever con where I done bookings. I was talking to a cosplayer and I was like, oh yeah, your cosplay is really cool, would you be interested in shooting? And they were like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'd love to shoot. Here's a link to my booking system because I'm doing times and this, that, and the other with different photographers. I was like, sweet, no worries. Clicked on the link and it went to their Ko-fi account and it said donate £5 with the time that you would like to shoot. And I just basically closed the window. I replied to the cosplayer, oh, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm okay. I've never told anyone the name of that cosplayer. That cosplayer is still in the community, whether they still do that. I've still never shot with them. I've talked to them before. They're a very nice person. I get on with them very well. I don't feel the need to call them out on it. But yeah, for that con, they just sent me a link to a Ko-fi account and was like, here's my booking system. And it was something like £15 for half an hour. And I was like, I'm all right, I can find someone else. So that's why I say it's supply and demand, where if you are going to start charging people, then yeah, but absolutely 100% cosplayers should turn around and go, okay, well, I'm going to shoot with the people who don't charge me. If you want a little bit of my time, then I'm going to charge you as well.
That was my asterisk, by the way. That was my second point. What I meant by two tiers, though, but no, I was going to make a joke by saying, but tonight on the podcast, you will reveal that cosplay. No, you don't. Please don't. Because that would be so bad. Because I really don't need this podcast to be red flagged or hated on at the moment, especially when I'm about to be on MCM stage. But what I mean by the two tiers is then you'll get a set of photographers who won't charge and a set of photographers who will charge. And I don't know if people start thinking that, oh, if these people don't charge, does that mean they're shit? And then the others who do charge saying, oh, they must be good because they charge. Because I've already got people come up to me and go, oh my God, you've got a really nice DSLR camera or mirrorless camera. Oh, your camera must be good. Yeah, sure. I'll just put the camera to the floor, see how good it takes photos. Oh, it doesn't. No, because I'm the one that presses the button, not the camera. I'm the one that positions it and changes all the settings. Anyway, sorry, little red rage there. But doesn't mean just because you charge doesn't mean you're good. Just means you're just able to,
all the gear, no idea.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that one. I have to write that down. No, you can. All you're doing is monetizing your service. That's all you're doing. Doesn't mean you're good. What was it? I've seen. Oh, there was another photographer, and this was another level of bad. They wanted to charge an event, and had what seemed to be very different styles of photos they were using. I went, oh, that's interesting. At least they got range and things like that. And it was written there, but in the fairly teeny tiny blended in the background font was, please note, none of these photos are mine.
Oh.
Yes. So not only...
AI generated?
No, stolen photos, straight out stolen.
No, they were not advertising with someone else's pictures?
100%. Now, I understand if you're starting out fresh, don't laugh.
This is what someone else can do. Why not hire me? You've had the best, now have the rest.
Exactly. it's and like I understand if you're starting out fresh, you've got no materials to use. You got to start somewhere, but that somewhere is going yourself and taking photos, and then use those photos to publicize. Jesus fucking Christ! Oh. Oh my god! But honestly, yeah. So that was another instance of like someone charging as well. I've lost my point now. I don't know where I was up to. But yeah, so these two tiers, and then it's these two. I just worry that those who like I really want to get some photos. I'm not going to get photos now because it's already hard enough now for cosplayers to feel like I need to be seen. I need to get photos. Photographers have this. I'm going to put this very politely and delicately. They already have an idea of who they would like to shoot with, be it like, I want to shoot from Marvel, or DC, Disney, anime, from this show, that movie, I've got a specific thing I want to recreate, that type of stuff. That's already a barrier that photographers put in front of cosplayers. So for cosplayers to go, oh, no one wants to shoot me and things like that, that's going to add another barrier. I will admit, I will see on the flip side of that, if you pay for someone's time, you guarantee that their time to shoot photos, you're guaranteeing photos. You would hope. So I can see, I have been told, because there's another photographer who seems to be still, I think they've changed their tune now, but for a while they were charging photos, either charging for the photos on the day or charging for the edits, which I still think.
That's
a grey area. That's a grey area. But anyway.
I'd say that's even worse, because you've then taken the time. If you are going to charge at a con, at least be open and honest. Because as well, like I think I said to you, we need to get rid of this whole, do you know how much my equipment is worth? Because it's like, well, do you know how much a cosplay is worth? We need to get rid of this whole kind of like, I am doing this because my gear is... No, you're doing this because you want money.
Exactly.
That is
100%.
Full stop. The only reason. If you're going to do it, be honest with it. I like money. I'm doing this for money.
I agree with you 100%, and I've said this many times. I do not understand why... It seems to be photographers that all right, I know you said you've encountered a cosplayer, but photographers are doing this.
Vast majority, yeah.
And I don't understand why they think that the cost of travel, food, hotel, tickets, camera, the equipment that goes with it, and then ongoing subscriptions, because I pay for a subscription for Lightroom and Photoshop. I know you can get free services, or you can get cracked version, yada, 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 and all that. Let's not go down that road. But I do not understand why that cost is bigger or overrides the cost that a cosplayer does, which is all of that minus the photography stuff, but material, sewing machine, skill, they have to learn all of this. All right, we've got to learn photography as well. I'm not suggesting one's better than the other, one's more important than the other. I'm just saying, and I'm sure Gaz is going to agree with me, we are both putting in the same amount of effort and energy into this hobby. Why are we trying to one-up each other? It just boggles my mind. It's just. But I think someone did try to, like, in a previous post, another photographer try to justify it by going, "Oh, I've got to pay for this and I've got to pay for that way." Get fucked. Go away. No, shut up. Like, if you can't recognise that a cosplayer equally puts in effort and money into this hobby, simply you have not understood this community. You are not a cosplay photographer. You're just a photographer trying to scalp someone. That's all it says to me, because you think you're better than them. And no, this is not what my community that I recognise is. Look, you may be part of a different cosplay community than I am. Absolutely fine. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I'm not trying to, like, talk down people who do charge or anything like that. These are my opinions. I've said, we've got a disclaimer at the front of this podcast that says all the views are a part, it's just the views within this podcast. It's not representing the community. And absolutely true. If you think you're listening to this guy, what Gaz and Eddie are saying are absolute tosh, I'd rather pay a photographer to know that I'm getting good work, getting photos back, edited within good time. Fine, that's your prerogative. Absolutely. I'm just saying that I follow the rules, and the rule says do not charge at a Comic-Con. It really, really get that. at least with a free service that we provide, I feel like any photos you provide, 1, 3, 9, 100, any certain number of photos is actually like, oh my God, I've got photos back. Thank you very much. You might go, oh, I just got a photo, but at least I didn't pay for it. Whereas I feel that if it's not been agreed, and I've seen this before, it's like they say, oh, if you spend X amount of money for a 15-minute shoot, and you'll get, let's say, for example, 5 photos edited. What is definition of edited photos? How do you pick the 5 photos? There may be in a pose that you go, oh, I really like that pose. Oh, it's not part of the 5. Or how much, where is that photo? Oh, can I get that one? Oh, it's an extra cost. It's like things like that. I'm just like, what? I do not understand. Edited. What does edited mean? I cropped it. That's edited. I put a filter through that. That's edited. What does edited mean? That is what I do not understand. If it's edited like full-blown composite and all that, damn, you got value for money. I absolutely no issue with that. But when people say you'll get X amount of photos edited, I'm like, but what does that mean? And I think if you're a cosplayer who is going down the route of I'm willing to pay for a photographer, the answer that I would want to hear, or the question I would ask is, what does edited mean? I need to see an example. Because you need to know what value of money you're getting for. Because there's plenty of photographers who will do it for free, who'll do, I wouldn't say the same level, but near enough. And I hope that's good enough, but I know there's some people who still pay. So, yeah. So, I'm sorry. Yeah. I stopped ranting, sorry.
It's all right, yeah. Because that's the thing, like, the person I actually shot this weekend, she's rearranging, because I like to try and do bigger edits where I can. And she went over to America, and this guy promised her the world and this, that, and the other. And she paid, I think, like $300 for one picture, like heavily edited with him. And she sent it to me after she got it, and she was like, I am in tears that this cost me £300. So we are now organising to go and do a shoot so that I can do what she wanted, that this guy had charged her $300 for. And it's like, yeah, if you are going to charge, you have to kind of be like, I am going to charge, but I am going to place you in the middle of your game. I'm going to get the color correction, the exposure, everything absolutely perfect, and it's going to be the best picture. You're going to set it as your profile picture. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and this, that, and the other. Because as well, like, I talked to you this weekend, not this weekend, I talked to you before. In preparation for this podcast, actually put out a poll that I was interested in, which is what are cosplayers looking out for in a shoot? Are they wanting the kind of like full bells and whistles, place me in the middle of Mordor with the One Ring destroying Mount Doom? Or are you wanting a picture of, hi, I'm Frodo Baggins, this is my nice costume, there's people in the background, it's a little overexposed because the sun's out, or it was raining, or this, that, and the other. What are you looking? And honestly, it was 90% to 10%. 90% of people were like, I just want a picture. So at that point, how can you charge? Because if people are happy with a simple picture, then what we're doing is more for us. It's not we are there for the cosplayers. We are here for us. This is our hobby. So why should we charge? I'm charging you so that I can do the thing I love.
I mean, if one thing has taught me about COVID is that people are now better at taking photos themselves, are willing to use their mobile phones to take photos. There's nothing wrong with mobile phone photography. Getting a decent iPhone or, Google Pixel, Samsung phone, you can get some really decent photos nowadays. So
100%, yeah.
So that has cut a lot of, shall we say, noise out of the conversation when it comes to, I can't get photos. If you've got a decent phone, you can take it yourself. I'm not suggesting that we us photographers stop providing that service, but I do recognise that I'm finding it harder and harder to sometimes fill out to book out all my slots for MCM London, and
I think it's becoming more and more that kind of like when I first kind of like joined the community, I got a bit of an impression that it's like we're there for the cosplayer. You want to try and do it for them and this, that, and the other. And it's like, actually, no, we're doing it for us. The cosplayers are just they're doing it more for us. So surely they should be charging. They're the ones kind of like, although they're coming to us saying, I want a picture, we're there because this is our hobby. This is what we enjoy. Without them, if photographers completely stopped going to the cons, cosplayers, I think, could have pretty much the same experience. If all cosplayers turn around and said, I'm not having pictures anymore, how many photographers would genuinely turn around and go, yeah, I'll still turn up?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, yeah. Because, as I said, they can just use their own phones to take photos they want. You know, that it's not, you know, I don't know what it's like at other venues. Like, I know the recent SecretCon was at Magna. I don't know how busy that was, how spaceship it was, and things like that. I was at a friend's place, Kevin Pack, and he showed me some of his photos. It seemed like it was quite still sparse enough so that people had their own spaces and things like that. So it wasn't like people in the background.
It was amazing, Eddie. It's what I'm editing right now.
All the clicks and plops and all that. But I like I said, I'll reiterate, when you're at MCM London, it's so crowded. You're getting the same background of, and scenery that every other photographer's getting. I am waiting for the day when someone comes up to me and go, oh, you like shoot me? Here's my rates. And go, oh, that day has come now. Okay. I know it's happened for you, but it hasn't happened for me. So, and things like that. And yeah, if it's really hard for me to like express this because I just do not understand how anyone can justify charging. I don't think there's any argument I've heard that made me go, do you know what? I think they're right, actually. They're right. No, I've been wrong all this time. And I know I'm a very extreme view of like, don't charge. I've like really held on to this belief as long as I can have. And I do know this. I do admit this. You know, like I said, I've seen other photographers who I've blacklisted in my head and go, oh no, you charge. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I don't want to associate with you. And I've heard their justifications and I've gone, wow, you really look differently to cosplayers. That's interesting. Not right, but interesting. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, I said this probably 2-3 years ago, like when we had COVID, like, you know, money's down, you know, we weren't having jobs, some were furloughed and things like that. Now we've got the cost of living that's going up. Everything's going up. The cost of petrol's going up. Hotels are going up. So far, the ticket for MCM London haven't gone up. Touch wood. You know, I know people moan about the cost of the tickets for MCM. I'm not saying it's cheap, but you know, it is what it is. I just, you know, I understand everyone's trying to find a way to like minimize or find a way to like, you know, to lower their costs somehow. And, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like there will be a time in the future where the tides will turn, that this community will stop caring about protecting this policy, this guideline, this rule, and people will just pay or charge whatever they want because I
think, like I said, I think if it does change, it's going to be a snowball. It's going to be one person goes to a con, be it a cosplayer or a photographer. They're going to do it. They're then going to come out and say, look, I charged. I didn't care what anyone said. This is the money I make. And then two people will look at that and go, all right, okay, I can now make money from this.
Yeah.
So then they'll charge, and then 3 becomes 10, becomes 20, and then again, the opposite side will start doing it and what have you, and it'll just snowball into a kind of like big thing. I mean, you are kind of seeing it with kind of like, I have seen a couple of people who are like, well, shoot, if you want a big edit, then I'll give you your pictures back for free. But if you would like a big edit or a specific edit or something like that, I'm going to charge extra for it. And now I think that that's a bit more of an accepted thing of, yes, I can do this big full bells and whistles edit. And I think that it is like slowly moving up kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen that behaviour. I use the word behaviour. I'll carry on using it, and I still think that's wrong. But it's such a grey area. Like I've said before, I ask for a donation once I've delivered the photos, but that's when I've delivered it. So it's up to the cosplayer to pay me. And this is not a call out to anyone. This is not me calling anyone out. But the last time I did that, and I think it was probably MCM Birmingham, I think out of 20, 30 odd people. I haven't actually counted. Let's see if I can count how many people. This will be fun. Oh God, come on. Load. Quickly. Sorry, patient people. More patient.
I was going to say, I think we talked, I'm sure it was one, wasn't it? I'm sure, because I'm...
Oh, we spoke about this, yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, when we done the MCM Birmingham rewrap.
I didn't put it in that folder. Damn, wrong account. Give me another second. It turned into 2, I think. 2 people. Or was that?
Okay.
Or was that VeeamCon? I cannot remember. But yeah, it's not. I get lots. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 36 people.
There we go. And we're going to loop that audio and we're going to release it as Eddie counting you to sleep.
I did. What was it? I was when I was doing my birthday photo shoot. I every so often I keep hearing, okay, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and I was saying that as well. And I'm going, I hope people don't think we can only count to 3, that we can count more, but I don't want to break.
That's right. I've come from a musician's background.
Oh, so you're
rigging a stage 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then you get someone shouting from the audience 3's next, and you're like, yep.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to shout that out in the middle of the crowd. It was a funny moment. I saw the face, and I'm like, "Oh shit! I should have crossed that line." So sorry. Eek.
It's all right. It's the little things that get you through, innit?
Oh, I think I know what I wrote backlash for. I know now. I think I'm really proud that the community did just create such a backlash to this photographer who wanted the charge. I think what really got my goat going, it was that they weren't hiding it in a sense. They weren't trying to like hide it within the wording of why they're going to this event. They just blatantly went, I'm charging and I don't care. And they did use that phrase, I don't care. I'm like, oh wow, you really do see cosplayers that small. Okay. And
you don't see it as a fair exchange.
No, exactly. And it's just like, oh, okay then. Okay. And I looked at their work, and I'm not saying it's bad work, but again, I'll go back to my pillars. You're at the same venue. You got the same scenery. What more can you get that's different to anyone else who's doing it for free?
A green screen in the middle of the trees.
Don't. No, I knew that was going to come up. Oh.
Now that I'd pay for. That would make the editing process so much easier.
Would it though? Would it?
Well, if you're doing full composite, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you might as well use the grey wall. Oh no, God, I just said that.
No, that would be harder because you got to kind of like they're not one texture. If you're doing a full composite, then it's much easier with a single colour background.
I don't know. It's all windy and all that, so there's texture bumps and all that. But anyway, let's not go down that road. Oh Jesus Christ! Oh my God, my headache hurts. Oh God.
You'll have to let us know if it's there in May.
Oh, you're not going?
No, I think we've discussed this every podcast I've been on. London is too far away for little old me.
Yes, but you keep saying that, but you do seem to turn up.
Yeah, I did say that I wasn't going to MegaCon in January, didn't I? I had reasons to go in.
Go
I
on.
was off. Yeah, the reason was I was off. I was off work. I was off work, and I was like, "What can I do? I know I'll go."
So don't tell me I'm not going to be there. Jesus Christ.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that moving house has kind of like wiped me out. There is no chance in hell that I can afford to go to MCM now.
So I'll see you Sunday then.
Yeah. No, I'm saving up for a new camera. So
no, that's fine. No. Oh, what camera?
I'm under.
What camera are you thinking of getting?
R5 or R6.
I've got the R6 Mark II.
Mark II. That's the one I was tempted by, but the R5, it's slightly... Here we go. You can cut this from your podcast for everyone. We've gone from should cosplayers charge to what can... Last time we were on the podcast, I was on the podcast, we were discussing SD cards.
Oh,
we're going to have no cosplayers left on this because every time I come on it, they're going to be like, they're going to talk about equipment again. There's no point listening in.
How do you
they're going to tell us that we should all be paying for our shoots, and then they're going to talk about equipment for half an hour. Sack that. I'm not listening to that.
How do you think I feel about this panel I'm doing at MCM? I'm really worried about it. Jeez. Let's talk about SD cards. Oh, the reading rights.
But yeah, long and short, it's between the Mark R6 Mark II and the R5.
Yeah.
Reason being is the R5 is slightly older. It's the higher end one, but because it's slightly older, it's slightly cheaper than the Mark 6, and the advantages of the R6 Mark II, I don't think I'm going to get out. I know someone else who has got the R6 Mark II, and they do equestrian. I hope I said that correct. Pictures of horses.
Yeah.
They do equestrian photography, and it's got specific software inside of it, which is good for autofocus on animals. So that's why they've got it. I don't think I'm going to get the advantages out of the extra money from the R6 Mark II. But yeah, if you want to listen to Ed talks about extra on Patreon, we will do a full 2 hours on what equipment we want to buy.
Stop scaring people. Stop scaring them off.
Followed by Eddie counting in case you haven't already fallen asleep.
I'll say one more thing. About cameras. I think I saw a YouTuber that said the R8 is as close to the R6 in features. I can't remember why it's cheaper. I'll find the video and send it to you. Sorry. All right, back to the main topic. That's why our photographers are charging, really, because we've got to pay off our cameras.
Yeah, because cosplays are really cheap.
Oh yeah, careful.
Yeah, we've already discussed that. Let's not go back to that.
Yeah. Careful how you say that and how you present that. No, look. I just, like I said, in conclusion, I don't know why I'm doing a summary. It's not. I think it's the end because I don't want to keep guys too long. But as I said, from my point of view, I like that the community is still self-policing this policy, this rule. And from my own personal viewpoint, I do not think it is morally good or acceptable to charge at a venue where you do not hire the venue, you did not seek out the venue. You don't know if I'm assuming you don't have insurance. You didn't ask the cosplayer to come meet me here because I've done that. You're just mutually going to this venue as well. I also feel like you morally... I've already forgotten the word, but you've all got to pay to get there through different means. Some people... I'm lucky that I live in London, so I can just travel each day via the tube, and it doesn't cost me that much. I'm only paying like £10 a day or something like that for travel. I'm lucky for that, but it doesn't mean it gives me the right to go, well, it was such a cheap travel, I'll still charge people, things like, I just think it's just morally wrong.
I think as well, it's very predatory, because I don't know if you've had this. Well, you do bookings, so you might not have had the same thing. But I don't do bookings. I just have a kind of like come up to me and ask me for pictures. And I quite often have people who come up to me. They'll see that I'm doing pictures and they'll go, "Oh, can I have some pictures?" I'm like, "Yeah, no worries. I'm just shooting this person and I'll be free." And then they'll say, "Oh, cool. How much do you charge? This is my first con. I don't know the etiquette." At which point I'll explain to them, you shouldn't charge, and no one here should be charging. So as well, you're very much preying on people who don't know, kind of thing. So it is very predatory behavior
in that sense,
to be charging. To be charging. It's not.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's bringing a whole new level of badness to it. Not only are you doing it, are you doing it when you shouldn't, but you're doing it specifically for people who don't know and are unaware, and you're preying on the fact that they don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's. I'm not saying it's a con, but it's akin to a con that you're charging someone. Which, if you have all in good intention of delivering the good, that sounded wrong. Delivering the photos, then yes, I'm not saying it's fine, but at least you've given them value for money. But I go back to my earlier point. What does edited mean? I can just say I slapped a filter on it, send. That's edited. What does that mean? If you think that they just slapped a filter on anything, well, hang on, I could have done that. I've spent X amount of money on this. Why? It's just not right. And I do not want to start going into a conversation of, well, if we did do this, well then, we should have a community, we should have a common theme to go, if you're just going to do plain photos, it's X amount of money. If you're going to do edited photos at a simple level, it should be that. Like, no, let's not do that. Again, you're going from a two-tiered system to a multi-tiered system where, again, the has and have-nots really, really get... Oh, God, I've just remembered the conversation I had 2 years ago. Oh, was it 2-3 years ago? Was it, if I charged, I think they said it was at 15-minute work. For £20 or something like that, I would have earned like $3,000. Something maybe not $3,000, but it was like an extortionate number. And I just thought, I don't need that pressure. Like, I was saying at the top of the podcast, I'm still editing photos from MegaCon London. That was the end of January. It's now April. It's almost the end of April. That's 3 months ago. Would anyone be happy if they paid and then waited 3 months? At least I didn't charge them and then go, oh, it's all right, I didn't pay for that. You can take up to 6 months if you want. I'm not going to. So it's like, sorry, I'm just, I had a relapse on an earlier podcast conversation. Oh, God, if you want to hear that one, that's 2-3 years ago. So go listen to that one. I'm hoping I've said something similar to that. But opinions might change from time to time. But yeah, it's just, oh God, my head, it just angers me so much when this subject keeps coming. I don't know, for some reason, the phrase that, okay, no, I might say it in the podcast extra. Let me just write this down. I'll tell Gaz afterwards, because I know he needs to go off soon. So there will be a podcast that should just be me. So, but Gaz, was there anything else you wanted to add to this conversation about charging at a con?
Yeah, don't do it. It's much easier. Don't.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
how deep and insightful.
I think the main thing is, he's just such a grey area. Can I see it happening in the future? Very possibly, I don't know. But again, like, I know a lot of people come over from America and Canada because because it's so accepted that they charge over there. I have heard quite a few say, oh, I might come to a UK con because the shots are free. So that's nice that it's encouraging people coming from other countries. It's just, it's such a grey area. Yeah, it's yeah. The last thing I'll say on it is, don't do it. If it does start happening and it starts snowballing, don't be surprised when cosplayers start doing it back to you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, we enjoy it, which is why we do it. But I think I'd like to think that we take better pictures than cosplayers, but I think now they're there for us more than we are there for them. So yeah, it should be more. We should be charging them as models more than we. Be charging them?
Yeah, you should be paying the models rather than we should be charging.
Yeah.
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see your point of view, and not to say that anyone who shoots with me in the future, they need to bill me for their service and time. Just Gaz. I'm not speaking on.
Yeah,
he's just speaking on his own behalf. I'm still a poor man from a poor family.
Spare him his life for his monstrosities.
Easy come, easy go. You let me. No, let's stop that there. I don't want to be. I don't want the estate of Queen to, like, you know.
Are you saying that your singing is that good that the estate of Freddie Mercury will be AI listening into this and be like, they've got Freddie Mercury on this, they got him on it.
Well, I am called
Eddie. Hey, get in here, Susan.
Get
in here. We got some loyalties to pay.
Hey, my name is Eddie, not far off the word Freddie. That's all I'm saying.
If you turn up to the next con with a mustache, we know why.
I'm Asian. How the hell I don't grow facial hair.
I know that poor excuse for a beard on your chin says it all.
Oh my god, the recording just corrupted. Oh, I'm about to start all
I thought you were going to be like, I'm bringing scissors to VeinCon. You touch my beard, I kill you.
I'm not going to bring scissors. I'm going to bring wax.
I hope you got a lot of wax.
Well, on that note, are we going to?
I think we've just found your opening clip, your banter section.
Shh! Don't give the game away that we haven't done a banter section yet. On that note, we're going to end the podcast. Fucking hell, Gaz, where can they find you on the social medias on your new link, which you've broken all my old links, which can't be bothered.
So I have rebranded. I am now Bigfoot Cos Tog, all one word, for my cosplay stuff. I am still Bigfoot Photos 1912 on TikTok. Not that I have posted on there in a year, but hopefully I will be posting more there as the time comes. If you would like to have a look at my other photography, then you can find that at Bigfoot Goes Wild for my landscape stuff, and hopefully some gig and other stuff will be coming soon. Yeah, sorry, that just never recorded, so I don't know what he just said. He might have said things about his link. I don't know. If anyone needs to find me on the internet, if you go to foodandcosplay.org/links, that's where you find all my social media links. If you go to foodandcosplay/podcast, where you find previously recorded podcasts recorded with different guests, as well as Gaz, different subjects, things like that. I like to think it's a good back catalogue of subjects that I've spoken about over the years, and I feel like although this is a repeat subject, it's worth repeating the things that were said maybe then to now, and just update things and all that. If you go to foodandcosplay.org, generally you'll see photos that I've uploaded to social medias, just in case social media is like, yeah, recently I've just noticed social media blocking some of my photos. It's going, I need a content review. It needs to be blurred. All right, she's fully clothed. I don't understand what. Generally, this happened on Tumblr. Like, I was reviewing some of my photos,
and I just see content review need or something like that. And I went, but she's fully clothed. I do not understand. What the I gave up. So
it might be weapons.
She's a Renaissance type of.
Okay.
Yeah, no weapons, dress, standing in front of a green dress. Do not understand. So I don't understand. Anyway, if you go to patreon.com/food and cosplay, there you'll find the podcast extra. I'll talk a little bit more about this, more personal views about this, and then there's also a raw and an edited vlog that I'm doing fairly weekly. It's just me to talk in front of the camera so that I'm better at talking in public, because not that it's linked, but I'm also doing a panel at MCM on the Saturday, the 24th? Yeah, 24th. Yes. It's called the Food and Cosplay Live Cosplay Podcast, which is not what it's called, but yeah. We'll be talking about getting the most out of Comic-Con from a cosplayer point of view and a photographer's point of view. Maybe a good chance for you to ask us questions about how to do certain things or what we're looking for. As a photographer, what do we look for? Things like that. How to book a photographer. Things like that. Feel free to come down. It's at the Cosplay Central stage from 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. So hopefully it won't take too much of your time. I'd be really grateful for people to turn up. I know Gaz won't be there because he says he won't be there, but you'll be in the audience, won't you?
I'll get someone to live stream it for me.
Like I said, I actually might live stream it just in case. But yeah, if there's nothing else to say, I think that's it. I'll bid you adieu, guys. I'll let you go to sleep because someone needs to go to work tomorrow. Some bullshit like that. Fucking hell.
Who needs work?
I know who needs work. Who needs money? You're just charging it. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to say that loud. Oh, no. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye and he'll say goodbye. So, bye, guys!
Bye.